the UFC light heavyweight champion, Jamahal Hill, is now the former UFC light heavyweight champion. Believe it's a ruptured Achilles, and anybody who watched the video that he put out there on his YouTube channel had to feel for him, put it out there, pushes the microphone aside, and then sort of, collapses in his own tears. And brutal injury. And there are a lot of layers to it. But this light heavyweight division just seems snake bitten a little bit, and Jamahal Hill is the latest champion to fall.
Yeah, no question about it, man. It's very unfortunate, especially that division has had a bit of an issue. The championship belt has been playing musical chairs a little bit in that 205-pound division, and hearing about those injuries, it's never good. Hearing about an Achilles rupture. I don't know how bad it is, of course. I haven't talked to Jamahal or anything like that, but those can be extremely challenging to get back to 100% after it. So many times it leads to a lot of other injuries down the line. A lot of people come back too early. A lot of people would prefer a broken bone as opposed to torn Achilles. It is really a beast of an injury to come back from, especially given the fact that you're talking about a striker who utilizes a lot of footwork and things like that. So I hope that he's going to be back, to 100% when he is back. And I guess it's good news for everybody else, but that's got to be tough for Jamahal Hill, who just got the belt and didn't even get a chance to defend it yet. So.
He's been out and about and increasing his following, and anybody who I think has crossed this man's wake, has a measure of love for him. He's a really good dude. And, it seems like reportedly the injury happened during this basketball game that my twin brother was a part of, that, of course, our executive producer, Cody Mero, was a part of. Cody hit a couple of threes, by the way. But I referenced this on the UFC broadcast. When we showed him, it was like a celeb shot. There's UFC light heavyweight champ Jamahal Hill. I was like, careful on the basketball court. And I think DC was like, seriously. DC's team won the game, by the way. There are reports also that DC paid the officials. Like, Cody and my brother took money as the winning team, like $300 a head. So I hope DC didn't pay the officials. I hope that Jamahal Hill didn't sustain the injury during the basketball game. I certainly didn't know the severity when I referenced it on broadcast, but maybe that's where it happened. And I will say, I've come across so many basketball players who injure their Achilles. And so I would say to Bilal, remember the name Muhammad, and everybody else out there on the UFC roster that likes to play basketball recreationally. Khabib Nurmagomedov used to play it while cutting weight. Don't go full speed 5-on-5 ever until your UFC career is over, right, Kenny? Is that not sage advice?
Yeah, no question about it, man. When especially, you're off season, you're going to be a little bit overweight potentially. Your ankles, your body isn't used to that kind of activity. It's used to, ironically, taking shots, getting hit, moving around, things like that. But you could put a lot of stress on your body when you're doing something else that you're not used to, especially given the fact that you're an athletic guy. You're like, I got this. I can move the way I used to.
Right.
And it just doesn't work out that way. That's when you can get so many injuries. My oldest brother did a similar thing while he was at Boston College, playing basketball in the off season, and ruptured his Achilles. So I know how horrible that was on him. Really tough thing to come back from. But I hope that for Jamahal Hill that he's going to be okay. And just really unfortunate stuff. Is there any truth to the rumor that it was due to a crossover by Cody Mero? Is that did he break ankles that way? Is that Cody?
I mean, almost like it's too soon, right? Cody says potentially. And Cody also suggests that officials didn't play a role in the outcome of the game, and I will take Cody's word on that. Was it Edgar Florian or Michael Kenfield?
Edgar, exactly.
Edgar. Shout out to Edgar Florian, by the way. So does Dr. Gus Florian still listen regularly? Because if he listened last week, still likes stuff every now and again on Twitter. I wonder if Dr. Florian is paying for that blue check mark on Twitter. I would suggest no. So, all right. Well, we wish Jamahal Hill a speedy recovery. The question beckons, what do you do with this now vacant UFC light heavyweight championship belt? I got to think DC is like sitting around thinking, man, I may want to come back and try to choke somebody out, right? Just get the fight to the ground and put on a rear naked choke.
He's just got to lose like 80, 90 pounds, and then he's good.
Fewer than that. Yeah, you just get him a towel. You can push down.
DC.
Get him a towel. You can push down on. So what do you do? I mean, is it as simple as elevating this fight 3 rounds between Alex Pereira and Jan Blachowicz that is going to take place 13 days from today?
Wow.
Dateline Salt Lake City. Don't call it Salt Lake. They get very upset. Are you elevating that to a 5-round championship fight and putting it underneath the BMF belt? I don't think that's an issue necessarily, but right. What do you do? And with whatever immediacy in terms of the 205-pound division?
Listen, I think it's worthy of it. You know, why not? The big hiccup for me is going to be the fighters themselves participating in the fight. I mean, now you're elevating this to a championship fight. They've been preparing, though, for 15 minutes, right? So, gosh, what do you do there? It would be kind of last minute for them. But again, an awesome opportunity for them to be a champion in that weight class. You have Pereira, who is the former champion at 185 pounds in his first fight at 205, obviously has phenomenal striking credentials there to validate that and everything he's done in mixed martial arts prior to that. And of course, you know, Blachowicz, who's been around the game, former champion at 205 pounds already. So I think it's worthy. It's just going to be a matter, I think, for anything else, the fighters have to agree to it. And I don't know, perhaps they will.
So Yuri Prochazka's timeline is the factor in all of this that I'm not sure anybody really knows. But I think that's a part of this equation, right? Is that if Yuri's going to be back in any sort of, 3 months, even inside of 5 or 6 months, then the winner of this fight could conceivably challenge him for the 205-pound title. We don't know what our headliner is at UFC 293. I mean, we said on broadcast, I guess we can say UFC 293 Adesanya versus Duplessis, but we don't know that right now. So a lot to be decided. Best of luck to Jamahal Hill, friend of the program, as he tries to recover, and we'll see what they do. I'm not sure they're going to elevate Jan Blachowicz and Alex Pereira to the championship, but you just never know. And wouldn't that be exciting, my goodness, inside of 2 weeks or 3 weeks?
Could they potentially move it, John? Would they move that one back a little bit and then make it 5 rounds?
Yeah, that's not a bad thought. UFC 291 is particularly loaded, but I think the opportunity, that carrot dangle would be so huge that I think they would both probably accept it on the short notice. But who knows? There are promotional considerations, as Cody alluded to, and it's a big fight, right? Like UFC light heavyweight championship. It's not ideal that they've had these type of vacant situations. You had Magomed Ankalaev and Jan Blachowicz. I mean, Ankalaev obviously factors in this equation. Don't want to leave him and his fan base out, but we'll see. We'll see what they choose to do. All right, Tyson Fury, minus 800. The comeback on Francis Ngannou is plus 630. I'm excited that Francis Ngannou gets his life-changing money. I'm excited they have a date in late October. I guess there won't be a belt on the line, but that doesn't seem to matter. What are your thoughts on how competitive Francis Ngannou might be in a boxing setting with Tyson Fury? And perhaps the broader question is your thoughts on him getting the chunk of change, as it were.
Right. I have those same sentiments, right? That, you're happy that he's getting everything he wanted. He has the big deal with the PFL. He's got that huge boxing fight. It seemed like that Tyson Fury fight was going to go away. And then Francis Ngannou kind of, brings this to our attention. And man, it's huge. It's huge for him. However, he is facing one of the toughest heavyweight boxers of all time, in my opinion. You talk about his size, his ability to move with that kind of size is just, it's different. There's not a whole lot of professional boxers that are high level that can deal with someone like Tyson Fury. And it is quite the mountain to climb for Francis Ngannou. Now, Francis Ngannou, if he hits anybody clean to the right spot, he could put him down. But Tyson Fury, not only does he have the ability to be very evasive, he's a huge man who, if you do knock him down, he always finds a way to get back to his feet. So just a fascinating fight, I think, in a lot of ways. I don't really love seeing guys fight outside of their realm of expertise, which Francis Ngannou, of course, is doing. But I think it is intriguing. I think a lot of people will want to see it just based on Francis Ngannou and his power that he brings to mixed martial arts. But make no mistake, this is Tyson Fury's world.